everybody. This is Keith Gleason, host of Indie Comics Relay, creator of the Mighty Mascots, and promoter for the Plastic City Comic Con. And I'm here to do another July recommend video for Indie Comics. Before that, though, check out Plastic City Comic Con happening Saturday, August 19th. We are admission $10, and we're one of the lowest admission shows in New England and probably the country for like a sizable size show. Like, we have over 250 tables at this show. Parking is free. Kids 12 and under are free. This is happening in central Massachusetts, August 19th from 10 to 5 p.m. We have a video game tournament coming up as well on that same day. And look at this guest list of all these comic artists that we have coming to the show. And then a huge list of all the local comic creators, artists, writers, crafters, comic dealers, game makers, everything. It's a huge geek celebration. So this list keeps going on and on and on and on. So check out Plastic City Comic Con happening Saturday, August 19th this year at the Game On Sports Complex. All right. Now that we got the promo out of the way, let's talk about July's recommendations. So I've been doing these videos for probably about almost a little under a year now, and they seem to be very popular. So basically, just to explain to you guys, if you haven't seen one of my videos, is I go through the Diamond Previews catalog every month when I do my order for DCBS. And as I'm going through, I kind of earmark certain indie titles that I think are worthy of checking out for a number of reasons. Like, either I really like the creative team, the book looks interesting, the concept looks cool, all that fun stuff. The artwork looks great, and it's not every book, but it's stuff that catches my eyes, and I think that would have, mass appeal. But also I think that most, like, trying to gauge other people's taste, I guess, so, but like, it's stuff that really like stands out to me, and I think needs like a little bit of a signal boost, so without further ado, let's check out all right, we got a list of 6 this month, so let's check out the first one. So the first one is Creepshow, and if that title sounds familiar, you've probably seen the 2 movies, or actually 3 movies. Never saw the third one. I heard it was horrible, but 2 movies and the TV show based on the Shudder streaming network, which is a horror network. And this particular comic is based off the Shudder series, this version of it, I guess, so this is a, awesome horror anthology done in the vein of Tales from the Crypt. I think when George Romero and Stephen King first came up with Creepshow, is they wanted to make a Tales from the Crypt movie, but they couldn't get the rights, or, the thing with EC I don't know if there was like something going on there, but so they made Creepshow instead. So they made their own horror host called The Creep, and they just told horror stories like in an anthology format. Now the comic is pretty cool. Like, they did a mini series last year. It was 5 issues, and each issue contained 2 separate stories. And then sometimes they had like little funny little ads and things like that in between. So it's a very fun book, especially if you like horror stuff. And the other thing that I really liked about the miniseries is they got really good talent to make the stories, and just like any other anthology, like, not all of them are 100% great, but overall the percentage of good ones versus bad ones is way high. So I would recommend this. And I'm just judging from this first issue, they got Garth Ennis, they got Phil Hester, they got Becky Cloonan. So I mean, that right there is pretty big for a first issue. So check this out. If you are looking to get Creepshow, this is the code that you would want to give your comic store. And that's how they order the books. They order them 2 months ahead for the store. Or you could try this Diamond pull box thing. I don't know how it all works, but I heard it does work with certain stores. You'd have to see if your store is set up on it and all that fun stuff. But, so keep that in mind. So if you want to get it, give your store this code and they will order it for you. And that's it. All right. So that's it for Creepshow. Moving on to our second book, which is called Subgenre Number One. Now, this is a book from Dark Horse Comics. It does not say if this is a one shot or a limited series or an ongoing, but it's Matt Kint, who I really like as a writer. I would say he's in my top 5 right now for writers. I think he's putting out great work, and he's like one of those indie guys. You might not even have heard the name, but he's got tons of work out there. And he worked for Valiant. He works for primarily Dark Horse, and he's done stuff for Bad Idea Press and things like that. But he's a really solid writer, and every time I read something by him, I really like it. Oh, he also did Berserker with Keanu Reeves, so you may know him from that. And the artist on this is Wilfredo Torres, which I know I've seen his work before, but I can't think of what title it might be from now. But this looks cool, and it looks like Matt's doing his spin on the whole multiverse thing. As you can see on this cover, there's a private detective and then this warrior type, and it seems like it's the same guy, but in 2 separate realities. It almost feels maybe a little John Carter-ish, maybe something like that. But the other interesting thing about this book, it's a little pricey. It's $7.99, but it's done in a pulp magazine size format, according to this right here. So that's kind of cool. So it'll be kind of like a nice big magazine, I'm looking forward to this. Like I said, Matt Kint, I think, is one of the best writers working right now in comics. So one of these days he's going to do something that's going to, light the world, and he'll shoot right up there like Scott Snyder or, James Tynion or something like that. But he's right there, man. Get in on the ground floor now, Matt Kint, so check it out. So if you want to order Subgenre, this is the diamond code that you would give your comic store and have them order it for you. All right, that's it for Subgenre. Let's move on to the next one. The next book is called Stuff and Nightmares, Red Murder number 1. Now, this is a one-shot from Boom Studios. The writer, if the writer looks familiar, it's R.L. Stine. That name might sound familiar to you. All the kids who grew up with Goosebumps and things like that. So he's actually been doing some comics here and there. I never heard of the artist Adam Gorham, but if this is his work, it looks really cool. Oh no, this is Francesco Francavilla cover. So I'll have to see what Adam Gorham's artwork looks like inside. But this is a sequel of sorts. They did a Stuff of Nightmares miniseries last year that I picked up after it came out. Like, that one caught me off guard. I did not know I wanted it until I saw it in the comic store. And I do like R.L. Stine. I never was big on Goosebumps, but I did like his comic stuff. He did a Man-Thing miniseries for Marvel a couple of years ago, and then he did some other thing for, I think, for a small press company. But Stuff of Nightmares reminds me of Creepshow. Actually, it's the whole book will be one story, but it does have a horror host. So it's not so much an anthology. It's more like let's just say more like a Twilight Zone episode where you have a horror host and then there's a story. And it looks like this is a one shot. And the interesting thing about it is it's about a comic book creator. I read this before we went live, that his creation comes to life and starts killing people. Sounds very similar to Stephen King's Dark Half, if you ever read that. But this looks great. I love the cover, and I like this title, and I like R.L. Stine's comic writing. So I'm definitely going to check this out. So if you want to get Stuff and Nightmares Red Murder, this is the diamond code that you would give your retailer and have them put it in your pull box. All right, moving on to number 4. This is Edenwood, number 1. This is Image Comics, and the writer and artist is Tony Daniel. So that's what caught my attention from this when I was looking through, is I really like Tony Daniel's artwork. I don't remember if I've ever read anything where he's also been the writer. He might have done, I think, didn't he work on Nightwing? I'm not sure. But this looks interesting. It's another multiverse story, which I mean, those seem like kind of the big thing right now. The image looks cool. The character looks cool, and it's Tony Daniels, a $3.99 book. It doesn't say if this is. Oh, it's a series premiere. So imagine this is going to be going, you know, monthly for a while, or however often Tony wants to release it. Because isn't he's still working on? Is he still working on Nocterra with Scott Snyder? I think he might be. So maybe he's doing this on the side. But yeah, I like his artwork, and I think he's a really cool creator. And this looks cool, Edenwood. I don't know much about it. It just says that he's this demon hunter, and it's a multiversal story. So it's probably going to be a cool looking book. So judging by all the artwork he does for Nocterra, so I think it's going to be cool. So Edenwood from Image Comics and Tony Daniel. If you want to order this is the diamond code that you would give your retailer and have them order a copy of this book for you. It's a #1. It's by Image. It's probably going to be a hot book, just and if it gets optioned for a movie, it'll probably blow up from there. So check that one out. All right. So moving on, we got 2 left. This one is Project Cryptid. It's 1 of 6. It's from Ahoy Comics. I don't think I've ever had an Ahoy Comics recommendation on this show yet. I did like some of their books when they first came out. They did one with Chris Giarusso that was a lot of fun, called #Danger. And then I don't think I've picked up anything from them since. But this is another anthology series. July is the month of anthology, I guess. So, but it's anthology about people doing stories of different cryptids. So that could be a lot of fun. And they got some good creators. I see Grant Morrison's involved, Mark Russell, Paul Cornell, and some good artists here too, Jordi Perez, PJ Holden. And it's supposed to be, I'm guessing it's okay, so it's a 7-page opening chapter by Grant Morrison, and then it's probably a couple stories after that. So yeah, this looks fun. I know cryptids seem to be all the rage as well too, with maybe we'll get a multiversal cryptid anthology at some point. That seems to be all the stuff that's happening right now. You always see that in comics, don't you? There's like certain trends that kind of become popular for a while, and then they kind of die, and then something else picks it up. But yeah, it seems like there's a lot of cryptid stuff, a lot of multiverse stuff, and a lot of anthologies right now. So yeah. Maybe we'll see that one of these days. But this does look cool. Ahoy Comics is one of those small press companies that's putting out some good stuff. So yeah, why not support them? So if you're into cryptids, check this out. This is the code that you would give your retailer. Tell them that you want Project Cryptid. It looks like it's a 6-issue miniseries, so it's not much of a commitment. You just got to get the 6 issues. And it's priced $3.99, so you can't go wrong with that, So check that out, Project Cryptid. All right, moving on to our last book. It is Here Comes Calico, #5 of 8. Now, I wish I had caught this when it was #1 was in previews. I would have definitely highlighted this. But the reason I bring this up is this past week we had the creator on our show, H.H. German. The artist on this book is Renato Pinto, and this book is a lot of fun. Well, I shouldn't say it's fun. It's about some serious stuff. But the thing I really liked about it, so a couple things. So you can't go wrong with the price. It's $2.99 a book. HH also does the book in newsprint, which gives it that extra classical feel. And if you've watched the live stream where we had him on, I've read up to issue 6, I believe, and the book reminds me so much of like 80s Daredevil or Punisher. It's got that feel to it. The character Calico is really cool looking, and I love the his motivation is he doesn't go after drug dealers, doesn't go after criminals. He goes after animal abusers. So if there's like a puppy, someone murders a dog or something like that, Calico is right on them, ready to take them out. Or if he's going after, like, I don't know, just people that hunt elephants for ivory, things like that. And the other cool thing about this book is that all the money, I believe most of the money after the costs are taken care of, goes to, it's a charity as well. It goes to fight animal abuse across the nation. So if you're looking for a good book, but also to feel good while you're buying it, check out Here Comes Calico. And also check out the interview we did with H.H. German this past week on the channel. Really interesting guy, boxer from the Bronx, who, is doing a book about protecting animals and stuff. It's really cool. It's very interesting, very different. And I do like it because of the tone and the, like the nostalgia got me on this one, so very, very much cool stuff. And look at this image, the Jiggler. I mean, that looks like it's a guy right out of a Punisher book, so yeah, so check that out. So that's it for this month's recommendations for July. We got some good ones this month. Usually pick out about 6 or 7 or so. There was other ones in there that look great. I encourage all of you guys to go through Diamond catalog, because I'm sure most of your stores don't carry everything. I mean, it'd be impossible to carry every book, but there is a lot of indie out there that you may not even be aware of that you might like, so I encourage you just going through the indie section. Most stores get like Marvel, DC, Image and stuff, so you usually don't have to worry about that, but there's like a lot of small press out there that really looks cool and could use some support, especially since I feel like all the great creative books right now are coming out in indie. So check that out. So, all right, everybody, thank you for watching once again. I appreciate you checking out this channel, checking out our videos. Please like, subscribe, share the video, share our channel. All right, so check that out and have a great week. And most importantly, read some comics. All right, everybody, have a good one, and we will talk to you later. Bye.